Let's turn now to Jeb Hensarling, Republican congressman from Texas. Congressman, where do you stand on this bailout idea?
Well, David, it's a very serious situation, but the economy, everybody's hurting. I mean, show me an industry that isn't hurting. I don't understand why we are going to specifically help the auto industry as opposed to the airline industry, as opposed to some other industry. And you start to ask the question, where will the bailouts finally end? Again, I know of no industry that isn't in some type of hurt. And to some extent, Detroit has brought it upon themselves. They are paying roughly 2/3 more on their labor costs than their competitors. At any survey of consumer satisfaction, they score towards the bottom. Now, I drove an American-made car over here to this interview, but clearly a lot of folks don't believe they're getting high quality. They don't believe they're getting good value. And as you brought up in the earlier conversation with the senator, nobody wants to see them go bankrupt, but sometimes bankruptcy allows a reorganization and allows them to come out a stronger, better, leaner model that maybe can survive.
And that all may be true. I read an analysis today, though, about the proposition there's short-term pain for longer-term gain if you can live that long. Metaphorically speaking, in other words, the short-term pain of losing our automakers and the spillover effect to their suppliers and to other economies that depend on this industry could be so severe, could be so intense at a time when the consumer is already reeling. The economy perhaps just cannot absorb it right now.
Well, David, that's the too big to fail argument, and it's not one that I buy into. We've heard about it about airlines, too. There used to be a Braniff Airlines, a Pan Am, a Texas International. They didn't work out too well, but ultimately somebody went in and bought up the assets and the airplanes and reorganized them, and people are still flying. People are going to end up making cars. Now, I wish they were made by American-made companies, but Toyota employs almost 2,000 people in San Antonio, Texas, in my state, producing cars that people like. And a very other important point, David, is 2/3, almost actually more than 2/3 of the new jobs in America are created by small business. And where's the aid package for small businesses? I mean, we could create 2 million small businesses with what we're talking about with this bailout package. The average capitalization is $25,000 for a small business. Detroit just got $25 billion on another incentive package. There's no plan in place. There's no guarantee that this is going to work. If you're going to spend Washington money in this way, and it's really the taxpayers' money, why don't you give it to small business? That's the job engine in America.
All right. Congressman, thank you very much. The automakers, the CEOs are going to be on Capitol Hill tomorrow. They're going to be pleading their case. We'll be watching. Thanks very much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.